Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-star bay, beside Luo Feng's living quarters, there was a wooden villa. Luo Feng followed the stairs to the third floor of the villa. The glass door of the staircase was closed. Creak. Luo Feng pushed the door open and entered. This was a room that was close to 100 square meters. There were many computer desks inside, and on each desk was a laptop. In front of the computers, there were men and women typing on virtual keyboards, looking at all kinds of information. There were a total of 21 workers in the room. At the furthest back at the largest table, sat a youth that looked exactly like Luo Feng, only much thinner and weaker. Big brother? Luo Hua shouted, shocked. It's quite lively here. Luo Feng smiled as he surveyed the entire office. Mr. Luo, good day. Mr. Luo. The men and women all bowed nervously. This group of workers were all investors that had been with Luo Hua for a long time. As they were used to it, Luo Hua brought them into the virtual universe. Even though there was a quantum computer to help, there was still a difference between a quantum computer and a human. Big brother, why have you come to my place? Come, let's go to the side and chat. Oh, wait a moment. Luo Hua swiftly returned to the computer, keying in some commands before running over. Let's go. In the office there was a tea room beside. Luo Feng and Luo Hua sat down. Big brother, coming over when I'm working, it's rare. Luo Hua smiled. It's like this. Luo Feng smiled. Tomorrow is the day of the triennial Ganwu Auction. Ganwu Auction? Luo Hua was shocked when he heard it, after which he revealed a look of glee, saying, isn't that the legendary Ganwu Universe country's highest auction? The last time I was chatting with an investor, I've heard about it before. I heard the requirements to participate in the auction are very high. The lowest requirement is a 3-star client. Luo Feng nodded. Damn. Luo Hua stared wide-eyed. 3-star client? This auction's level is really high. 3-star clients in the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield, those that could be considered 3-star clients were pitifully few. They were all big figures. Luo Feng smiled. I came here to ask the 2 trillion universe dollars I gave you 2 years ago, how is it going? Speaking of which. Luo Hua revealed an excited look and said, 2 trillion universe dollars, even in the universe's investment market in many investment sectors, it's considered a huge amount of money. Big capital has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that it can influence the market to a certain extent. The disadvantage is that it's not flexible enough. Sometimes, it can't be sold even if you want to. Last year's operations we made a profit of 50% at the peak, but there were also times where we made a loss. On average we didn't make a profit or a loss. I've accumulated some experience in operating large funds and perfected my investment strategy. This year, at its peak, the capital reached 3.6 trillion universe credits. However, the market hasn't been good recently, and there are still 3 trillion universe dollars left in assets. However, there's no rush, the market has to wait. I'm waiting for the market to explode now. Luo Hua chuckled. Luo Feng nodded. I need money right now, how much can you take out? If you want money you have to sell. After all, my assets are not in cash. Luo Hua said solemnly. But to sell it now, bro, to tell the truth, I've been planning for the past half a year. Now he just had to wait for the market to explode and make a killing. To sell it now, it's really not worth it. However, bro, if you're in a rush to use it, you can sell it within a day. However, with such a large amount of selling, it would easily cause the price to drop. I estimate that you can get 2.8 trillion universe dollars, that's not bad. Oh. Luo Feng nodded. No rush, this auction will last for 10 days. If I don't have enough money, I'll contact you. All right. Luo Hua nodded. The Ganwu Universe country's biggest event. The Ganwu Auction. Once every 3 years, Luo Feng had long been anticipating it. Bro, I'm always online. If you need to raise money, inform me immediately. I'll immediately sell it for cash. If you're really in a rush, I've already discussed it with a friend. When the time comes, we can urgently borrow money using my investments as collateral. Luo Hua said. Luo Feng. Besides, Su Xian smiled. When you return you have to tell me about the auction. I'm very curious about this Ganwu Universe country's biggest event too. Luo Feng nodded. After bidding farewell to his parents, wife and brother, he immediately left the 9-star Bay district. Summoning his Pegasus, he rode it to the teleportation point. Teleport. Luo Feng stood within the teleportation point, holding the Ganwu auction invitation in his hand. Oh. Luo Feng immediately vanished, leaving the Black Dragon Mountain Island and teleporting to a floating city in the air above the Ganwu continent. The invitation shot out dots of light, causing the floating city's defenses to automatically open up, allowing Luo Feng to enter. This was an incomparably elegant floating piece of land within the clouds. This floating city had beautiful sceneries, flowers and plants could be seen everywhere. And the most eye-catching thing in the entire floating city was that incomparably huge structure, the auction hall. The Ganwu auction that was held once every 3 years, was always held in this auction hall. Sir, how do you do? Welcome to this time's Ganwu auction. This is your seat number. Young miss, how do you do? Welcome to this time's Ganwu auction. This is your seat number. Many people were dressed either beautifully or simply. Some had the body of a snake, others were incredibly tall and sturdy. Those who came to participate in the Ganwu Universe auction were simply a sea of people. At the entrance of the auction hall, there were already 2 long lines. Everyone was queuing to enter. So many 3-star customers? Luo Feng too was queuing. In front of him was a huge man that was almost like a burning flame. Behind Luo Feng was a 1 m tall, but with 3 eyes and a cold dwarf. However, that natural aura of a strong warrior made Luo Feng feel pressured. The 3-star customers are almost all sector lords. Very few are big merchants or youths with powerful backgrounds. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Almost all sector lords? Luo Feng's gaze swept. The queue had already formed 2 long lines. There were at least a few thousand of them. A few thousand sector lords? This auction hall has a total of 16 entrances. It's not just you who are queuing. The other 15 entrances are all queuing. Right now there are about 100,000 sector lords queuing. Babata said. 100,000? Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. 100,000 sector lords? That was too crazy. Puta, there were about 1.31 million participants in the last auction. Do you think this time will exceed that? In front of Luo Feng, the huge man whose entire body was almost like a burning flame said solemnly. It will definitely exceed. It's said that this year there will be a slot to enter the primal universe to study. This slot is a sector lord slot. The highest it can allow a sector lord to enter. Many undying beings have come over wanting to buy this slot. Just for this slot there will definitely be many sector lords here. In front of the huge man, a man covered in a robe said hoarsely. Luo Feng was stunned. 1.31 million? Primal universe? While queuing, he would often hear the discussions of the sector lords around him. The contents of their discussions caused Luo Feng to be stunned. Because these sector lords were discussing many topics that made Luo Feng confused. For example, this time in the starfield secret region, out of the 18 sector lords that went with us, only 3 managed to make it out. The other 15, maybe in tens of thousands of years or millions of years they might come out. They might never come out again. Your Tuda army has made a huge contribution in the battlefield outside the region. Congratulations. The sector lords around all knew each other and were discussing these topics. However, Luo Feng just blinked and remained silent. This brother, which family and organization are you from? One of the teams beside Luo Feng, a skinny one-eyed man smiled and greeted Luo Feng. No family, no organization. Luo Feng replied. Oh. The one-eyed man nodded and didn't ask further. Just from the aura alone, one could tell the strength of the people around him. The large group of sector lords around him could easily tell that Luo Feng was a weak punk. However, in this situation the weaker one was, the more they couldn't afford to offend such a punk. Because for a weak person to become a 3-star client, his background was usually very terrifying. Sir, how do you do? Welcome to this time's Ganwu Auction. This is your seat number. Luo Feng received a tag. On it was a translucent screen and on it was a seat number. KND 99,286. It's huge. Entering the auction hall, Luo Feng was half stunned. The entire auction hall was like a football field on Earth. The spectator stands were densely packed all around. However, there were just too many seats in this auction hall. There's a total of 3 million seats here. Every seat is 6 m wide and 10 m tall. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng nodded. Every seat was 6 m wide and 10 m tall. What a huge seat. A total of 3 million seats, arranged in rows, one couldn't even see the end of it. It was almost as though the countless seats formed a world. The seats were designed to be huge, mainly for the huge clients. KND 99286. Luo Feng looked at the number engraved on the seat and sat on it. The 6 m wide seat was even bigger than his own bed. Countless seats. The entire auction hall was filled with discussions, almost as though there were countless gods discussing. So many sector lords? Luo Feng held his breath. The Ganwu Universe country has a total of 13,000 starfields. Just like the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, there are close to 100 sector lords. Then the entire Ganwu Universe country. On average there are over 1 million sector lords. And in truth, because of the many Undying's teachings, the Ganwu Universe country has a higher chance of producing sector lords. The entire Ganwu Universe country has over a few million sector lords. Luo Feng felt his heart racing. A few million sector lords? The Ganwu Universe country, it was no wonder it was called a universe country. Such a universe country was simply too huge. The Ganwu Universe country has an incomparably huge power, even your teacher can't compare to it. Undying warriors in front of the huge Ganwu Universe country can only lower their noble heads. After all, the Ganwu Universe country has a lot of people. Of course, for an undying warrior like your teacher who has no ties and is extremely strong, the Ganwu Universe country wouldn't easily mess with him. However, if they were to really fight, paying a certain price, killing your teacher wouldn't be a problem. Babata exclaimed. There's no other way, there's strength in numbers. Luo Feng nodded. Looking at the endless number of seats in the auction hall, and the endless number of sector lords, he understood what strength in numbers meant. 3 hours later. Attention all. A clear voice immediately resounding throughout the entire auction hall. The vast auction hall immediately quietened down, everyone consciously stopped talking. Luo Feng looked towards the center of the hall. A bald old man with a black turtle shell on his back stood in the center of the hall, and in the air above appeared a 3D image of this old man that was close to 1000 m tall. Welcome everyone to this year's Ganwu Auction. Thank you to the Virtual Universe Company, Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank, Battleaxe Dojo, Universe Mercenary Alliance and the Ganwu Universe Country for their support. The old man smiled, I believe many people recognize me, everyone can call me Old Batu Ah, this time I'll still be hosting everyone, this is a top-notch gathering. The last Ganwu auction there were 1316038 participants, and this time statistics have just been released. Does everyone know how many people are there? 1823959 people. 1.82 million, more than 500,000 people from the last time. Immediately the entire auction hall was filled with a wave-like clamor. Those who could come here were all at least 3-star clients. Within the densely packed seats, Luo Feng however smacked his lips, sighing within, in the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, my wealth can be ranked in the top 100, however in the entire Ganwu universe country. Different statuses, different views. Without reaching the threshold of a 3-star client, one didn't even have the right to participate in the Ganwu auction. Let's cut to the chase. It's almost time for this year's auction to officially begin. Before the auction officially begins, we'll do the same as usual. We'll start with an auction to warm up the crowd. The turtle-shelled old man pointed to the side, and a huge screen appeared next to him. On the screen, a beautiful cosmic galaxy appeared. Galaxies passed by one after another, and each galaxy had many planets with life. There were also many experts on those planets. This is the Tana Star Zone. Within our Ganwu universe country's 13,000 starfields, it's a small starfield that's ranked towards the back. The entire starfield has a total of 668 galaxies. Previously this was the territory of an undying realm expert. However, this immortal existence is preparing to go on a life and death adventure, so he wants to sell the entire starfield. Therefore, our auction's warm-up auction will be this starfield, Tana Starfield. The turtle-shelled old man shouted loudly. The auction hall was in an uproar. Luo Feng, who was sitting high up in the huge seat, was also shocked. Tana Starfield? Auctioning an entire star zone right off the bat? One had to know that the Silver Blue Empire, a low-level civilization in the universe, only had 8 galaxies. Although this Tana Starfield was a small starfield, it still had more than 600 galaxies. The warm-up auction is a small starfield. Looks like there will be a lot of high-priced items in this auction. I heard that the finale of this auction is a spot to go to the primal universe, to study. This auction is definitely one of the best auctions in the past 10,000 years, some discussions carried from the huge seat next to Luo Feng. The Ganwu auction is held once every 3 years. However, every auction is slightly different. Once in a few thousand or 10,000 years, there will be an auction with high-level treasures. Usually the so-called warm-up auction shows the level of the auction. Tana Starfield. An independent starfield, as long as it doesn't establish a country, it will receive the protection of the Ganwu universe country. A starfield like this can definitely be the foundation for a family to pass down for billions of years. There are only so many starfields in the universe country that can raise warriors and slaves, and the ones that come to the auction are even fewer. Now everyone can start bidding. The base price, 300 mixed elements, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Each increment must be a multiple of the mixed elements. Immediately, a number appeared on the huge screen beside him. 300 mixed elements. 400 mixed elements. The price immediately soared. This scene caused Luo Feng, who was sitting far away, to be confused. Babata, the price of a starfield is between 1,000 and 10,000 universe dollars. This starfield has a total of 668 galaxies, so in theory, it should be around 200 to 300 mixed elements. Luo Feng, you're talking about selling individual galaxies. And right now, the entire starfield is selling them. This is different. If the galaxies are scattered, it'll be easy for the surrounding forces to bully them, making it hard for them to develop. And the entire starfield is one entity, said Babata. The entire starfield supports each other, so it'll be hard for the surrounding forces to oppress it. So, the price of an individual starfield will be very high, said Babata. Luo Feng held the black tag and looked at the huge screen in the distance. The number on the screen continuously refreshed. 400 mixed elements. 420 mixed elements. 460 mixed elements. In the blink of an eye, it became 860 mixed elements. 861. 868. 876. The rate of increase slowed down. 1,000 mixed element units. The sudden appearance of this number silenced the entire auction hall. No one else continued to bid. 1,000 mixed elements counting down from 3321. Congratulations to the guest KBR 38293, you have won the Tana Star territory and become the owner of the Tana Star territory. The turtle-shelled elder's voice was incomparably loud and clear. This year's Ganwu auction will officially start soon. 58, 57. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. His voice rumbled like a deity's. The center of the auction hall became incomparably dazzling, and the light shone on the faces of the experts in the huge seats around it. This year's auction officially begins. Now, for the first batch of auction items, you can see the 1,000 items that will be auctioned on your auction tokens. Those who want to buy it, please be prepared to bid. The turtle-shelled old man shouted, now for the first item, 92 bonus, a metal-type life form. The metallic life form of the Bona clan can fuse with a spaceship, giving the spaceship the ability to recover and upgrade itself. The metallic life form of the Bona clan, a total of 92. The starting price is 200 billion universe dollars. The highest bid of 92 will receive this metallic life form of the Bona clan, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Immediately, many people in the entire auction hall started bidding. Luo Feng, who was in the crowd, sat on his throne and lowered his head to look at the black token in his hand, auctioning 92 items at once, pretty fast. This metallic life form can actually fuse with a spaceship, and when the metallic life form's strength increases, it will also continuously upgrade the spaceship? Interesting. Luo Feng looked at the continuously rising price, shook his head and didn't bid anymore. The auction items were auctioned off one after another like flowing water. The lowest price was a few tens of billions of universe dollars, while the normal ones were a few thousand universe dollars. After all, the initial warm-up auction was an exception. 1,000 mixed elements, those who dared to bid this price were probably 4-star clients. Billowing water fruit, the best item for nurturing spiritual beasts and plant life forms. Even if you're heavily injured, eating the billowing water fruit will have a healing effect. 100 billowing water fruit is actually 1 unit. There's a total of 39 units of billowing water fruit here, and the lowest bid for each unit is 100 billion universe dollars. Immediately, another bid was made. Normally, a galaxy with hundreds of thousands of planets would have a price between 100 billion to 1 trillion universe dollars. Any one of the items here would normally be worth tens of thousands of life planets, or even hundreds of thousands of life planets. Luo Feng buy the next unit. This billowing water fruit has extremely good nurturing effects for the cloud contact vine. Luo Feng finally spent 180 billion and 181 billion universe dollars to buy 2 units of billowing water fruit. Automaton battle uniform, perfect protection for the entire body. The surface of the automaton battle uniform will naturally form an energy barrier, and the energy source for the barrier is the energy crystal within the battle uniform. This automaton battle uniform is AD8 grade battle uniform. Even if a Star Traveler punk wears it, a Domain Lord level 5 or 6 wouldn't be able to break through it, and their spirit energy wouldn't be able to penetrate it either. This automaton battle uniform, there's only one of it, and it's definitely the best gift for one's beloved disciple, or one's own children. With it, one will be much safer. The starting price is 1 mixed element. The turtle-shelled old man shouted loudly. This item shocked Luo Feng. It actually didn't require any of his own strength to defend against attacks. This automaton battle uniform. Luo Feng had never heard of it before. However, this thing was useless for a sector lord to wear. Damn, the price is rising so quickly. Luo Feng looked at the final result that left him dumbstruck. 9.8 mixed elements. This was the final price, close to 10 mixed elements. A gift purely for one's beloved disciple or child was actually close to the price of all the treasures Luo Feng obtained in the world within a world. Luo Feng, this automaton battle uniform has such high defense, it's extremely rare. Don't even mention AD8 grade, you probably haven't even seen AC grade automaton battle uniform before. This thing is purely a luxury item. The person who bought this automaton battle uniform is probably an undying being. Babata said. The auction items flew by. All sorts of auction items dazzled one's eyes, just one of them was enough to make a domain lord go crazy. However, in the Ganwu universe country's highest level gathering, with over 1 million sector lords gathered, and even a few undying beings amongst them, they didn't hold back when bidding. 3 consecutive batches of items, a total of 3,000 items, were quickly sold. Now it's the 4th batch of items. On everyone's auction tags, you can see the next 1,000 items that will be auctioned. If you see someone you want to auction, please make your preparations. The turtle-shelled old man was still smiling as he spoke. Immediately the auction hall went silent. Countless powerful fighters on the thrones all looked at the 1,000 items that were about to be auctioned. Nan Shen Armament, Nan Shen Armament. One of the 9 godly weapons of a spirit reader controller, the Nan Shen Armament. Luo Feng, this is the most suitable spirit weapon for you. This Nan Shen Armament, you have to get it. Just as Luo Feng was looking, Babata's excited voice resounded in his mind. Controller of the 9 godly weapons? Nan Shen Armament? Luo Feng looked down suspiciously at the black tag in his hand. On the screen of the tag was a detailed list of 1,000 items. It's most suitable for you, Luo Feng. It's very hard to buy normally. Luo Feng, you have to buy it. I understand, I'll take a look first. Luo Feng looked carefully at the screen of the tag. Very quickly he saw one of the items. Nan Shen Armament. With a gentle tap, he saw the detailed information on the Nan Shen Armament. Nan Shen Armament. One of the 9 godly weapons for spirit reader controllers. Its full name is Hun Tian Yen or 9-stage Hun Tian Yen. The Nan Shen Armament's normal form is a dark golden long rod. Within it are 10,081 thin golden little blades. Every blade is infused with incredibly profound origin law engravings. Of the 9 great godly weapons, 8 of them were created by combining the laws of time or space with the 8 elemental laws of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, and light with one of the laws of time or space. The last of the 9 godly weapons is the fusion of time and space, the 2 most profound origin laws, creating a godly weapon. And the Nan Shen Armament is the fusion of gold and space laws, creating a godly weapon. Its power is immense. The Nan Shen Armament has a total of 9 forms. Each form is stronger than the last. Similarly, the difficulty of controlling it rises constantly. The Nan Shen Armament's 9 forms are incredibly difficult. The first form, to a star level, it's incredibly difficult. A star level that can unleash the first form is considered invincible within the same level. The third form, To a universe level, being able to unleash the third form is considered invincible within the same level. Obtaining 1,000 consecutive victories in the Battleaxe Coliseum is extremely easy. The sixth form. To a domain lord, to be able to unleash the sixth form, one is definitely invincible amongst domain lords. Looking at the Ganwu universe country or even the entire human race, a domain lord that can unleash the sixth form is definitely the most overpowered within the same level and level. Even comparable to the golden horned beast of the same level. The seventh form. If a level 9 sector lord was able to unleash the seventh form, he would definitely be a pinnacle sector lord. The eighth form, incomparably difficult. A sector lord level 9 warrior using the eighth form would be considered invincible amongst sector lords in the Ganwu universe country. The ninth form, the highest form. Throughout the countless years in the vast universe, almost no sector lord has been able to display the ninth form. Usually, a sector lord who could use the ninth stage would have long broken through to the immortal rank. Nan Shen Armament was the strongest but also the weakest. It was most powerful because it had 9 forms, each more monstrous than the last. The weakest was because it was too difficult to use. If one's comprehension was weak, they might as well use other spirit weapons. Starting bid, 500 billion universe dollars. A total of 9. 9-fold Hun Tianyin? What a pervert. Luo Feng muttered. At this time, sitting on the huge throne on Luo Feng's left was a black-scaled giant that was close to 6 meters tall. He looked at Luo Feng and said solemnly, "Brother, have you taken a fancy to that Hun Tianyin? That Nan Shen Armament isn't something normal people can use well. The 9 godly weapons, each one of them is incomparably difficult to use. The most important thing is origin law comprehension. If you don't have the ability, it's better to buy a normal spirit weapon. It'll allow you to unleash even more power. Remember, when buying a weapon you don't have to buy the best, you have to buy the most suitable one for yourself." That makes sense. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at the black-scaled giant. The black-scaled giant laughed, opening his huge mouth. The 9 godly weapons are extremely difficult to use. Like that Nan Shen Armament, a sector lord that can unleash the 8th stage would normally be able to break through to the undying level. Little brother, even if you have money you shouldn't waste it. Just buy the most suitable one for yourself. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled and didn't say much, thinking within, this Nan Shen Armament is the most suitable for me. The gold origin laws, Luo Feng had a certain level of comprehension. And the space origin laws, even though Luo Feng hadn't made any progress, he was still working hard. With such good conditions, he naturally had to work hard to use the Nan Shen Armament. Luo Feng, that soaring shuttle's maximum power is the universe level. Your current golden horn beast body is already able to fully unleash the soaring shuttle's power. It won't have any challenge for you. And this Nan Shen Armament, I'm not afraid of it not being enough for you to unleash. I'm afraid you won't even have the ability to unleash its full power. The 9th stage is waiting for you to break through. Understood. Luo Feng was filled with pride. The 9th stage. I'll break through one stage at a time. Babata, how much do you think this Nan Shen Armament will cost? Luo Feng asked. There's a total of 9 Nan Shen Armaments. Amongst the sector lords here, only spirit reader controllers will fight for it. And only those who walk the path of gold and space origin laws will fight for it. However, the number of people in the auction house is huge. According to my estimation, the price will be higher. However, with your money it should be enough. Ah. Luo Feng nodded within. Right now he had about 3,986 billion universe dollars. Buying this Nan Shen Armament wasn't too difficult. As time passed, the expensive weapons within the incomparably vast auction house attracted bids, swiftly being bought by the warriors from the various starfields. More than 99% of the people here were sector lords. The rest were few people with powerful backgrounds, undyings. The next auction item is the Nan Shen Armament. The controller of one of the 9 godly weapons, the Nan Shen Armament. As for its power, everyone should be very clear on it. Many sector lord controllers are often troubled. After comprehending the origin laws and breaking through, the spirit weapons in their hands are unable to unleash their full power. And using the Nan Shen Armament, you definitely don't have to worry about this. I'm not afraid of not being able to unleash it. I'm just afraid of not having enough power. Nan Shen Armament, 9th stage. If you can unleash the 9th stage, you'll be able to dominate the vast universe. Not just the human universe countries, even the Automaton race, demon race and even the space beasts, you'll find it hard to find a worthy opponent. The turtle-shelled old man said loudly, "Alright, let the bidding begin. There's a total of 9 Nan Shen Armaments. The 9 highest bids will be the winner. The starting bid, 500 billion universe dollars." Immediately one couldn't see the end of it. On the densely packed huge thrones, millions of sector lords and even undyings, many of them began to bid. Within the countless thrones, Luo Feng sat on one of the inconspicuous thrones, entering his bid, 600 billion universe dollars. Damn. Luo Feng stared. The numbers on the screen kept jumping. On the side of the screen was the 9th highest bid, 550 billion, 600 billion, 660 billion, 700 billion. The price soared. 800 billion. Luo Feng entered again. 890 billion, 900 billion, 960 billion. The numbers beside swiftly surpassed Luo Feng's. 15,000 trillion. The number on the screen soared by a huge amount. Crazy. Luo Feng stared. Luo Feng, the Nan Shen Armament's auction price usually goes up to 2 trillion universe dollars. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Indeed. 2,000 billion. 210 billion. 2,110 billion. The rate of increase began to slow. 2,180 billion. Luo Feng entered the bid. After which, he stared at the ninth bid on the tag. The rate of increase continued to slow. 2,190 billion. 2.6 billion. It's jumping again. Luo Feng was getting anxious. Even though there were treasures that couldn't be bought normally in the auction, there were simply too many strong warriors gathered there. Who knows, there might be people who really wanted these treasures. Sometimes the final price would be terrifyingly high. Indeed, the price continued to rise. 3,000 billion. 3,080 billion. 3,100 billion. The rising price made Luo Feng hold his breath. His eyes were slightly red. Babata, why is the price rising so ridiculously? Auctions, it's impossible to completely predict. Sometimes, a dozen or so experts would suddenly appear in the auction house who wanted the Nan Shen Armament and had the capital to raise the price. After all, there are only 9 of them. Once they're sold out, buying the Nan Shen Armament in the future will depend on luck. After all, the next Ganwu auction might not have the Nan Shen Armament. Babata said, let's bid, we have to get it. I know. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. Looking at the current price, he entered another bid. 3,200 billion. However, following the shocking rise, the price quickly broke through 3,200 billion. Babata, send a mail to my brother. Tell him how much money he can immediately borrow. Luo Feng asked. Once the auction was completed, one didn't have to pay immediately. It had to be done in batches of 1,000. After every batch was completed, the money would be deducted. Your brother has replied. He said that with just a phone call, he can immediately get his friends to transfer the money. Right now, the highest he can transfer is 2 trillion universe dollars. Luo Feng relaxed. The bidding had already begun to slow down. Obviously, a sector lord's money didn't just fall from the sky. 3,611.2 billion universe dollars. Luo Feng entered the bid. The numbers on the screen slowly rose. 36,081. 36,085. 36090. Finally, the numbers stopped. The final bid of the ninth place was 3,610.1 billion universe dollars. The ninth place bid is 3,610.1 billion universe dollars. Counting down from 3 seconds. 3. 1. Congratulations to the 9 guests. You have become the owners of the Nan Shen Armament. The turtle-shelled old man shouted loudly, let us continue. The next item is... Luo Feng looked at the line of words on the black tag in his hand. Congratulations, customer KND 99286. You've won the Nan Shen Armament. Please prepare to sign the contract after the auction ends. Luo Feng, this Nan Shen Armament will always accompany you. Step into the universe level, domain lord, sector lord, and even break through to the undying level. It will always accompany you. 10,000 years, 100,000 years, or even longer. This will be your most important companion. It will accompany you through life and death. You have to use it well. Babata encouraged. Luo Feng nodded. He couldn't help but feel excited. The Nan Shen Armament. His own weapon. After about an hour, this batch of auction items were all sold. Luo Feng paid the money too. They agreed on the location of the Nan Shen Armament in reality. Now is the 5th batch of auction items. Everyone's tag will be able to see the next 1,000 items. If you see anyone you wish to bid, please prepare yourselves. The turtle-shelled old man's voice resounded throughout the vast auction hall. Countless sector lords in their thrones lowered their heads to look at the tags. Luo Feng too lowered his head to look. Damn. Life fruit? Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Within these 1,000 items, there was indeed a life fruit. The life fruit had a starting price of 500 billion universe dollars. There were a total of 12 of them. My balance? I still have about 374.8 billion left. It's not even enough for the starting price. Luo Feng rubbed his head, blinking helplessly.